Today, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Fisker, and they're going to be delisted. Now, Fisker was, or technically is, a EV automotive company with a long history of attempting to make vehicles. With the founder Fisker, I believe the first iteration of the company was it 20, about 2007? They went bankrupt in 2008, which again a lot of companies did. Is one of the worst economic crises in my lifetime, and looks like, let's see, filed for bankruptcy. So they fell dramatically in 2008, but went to bankrupt in 2013, even though the U.S. government gave them $192 million in loans from the U.S. Department of Energy, which I'm sure weren't paid back. Now it looks like Fisker's latest venture was founded in 2016 and went to public through a merger with a blank check firm for a valuation of $2.9 billion, and they've been struggling ever since. Now it looks like they're unable to meet the closing conditions related to an attempt to raise $150 million, which some people had thought they would actually secured in terms of short-term funding. They noted that they're having a lot of their bills coming up that are due. Their stock has dropped more than 90%. And what's their stock? It should be, last week it was like 16 cents per share. So it's probably going to be about, probably maybe a nickel. Ooh, I overshot it. As the time of this recording, now granted, by the time this video is rendered, uploaded, it'll be different, but it's 3.3 cents per share, which is, yeah, there's no statistical way they're going to make it. The only question is, realistically, I think who's going to buy the remaining assets of the company? The market value is down to $49.9 million. Their 52-week high was 44.9 cents. That is quite bad to say the least, with the 52-week low being, right as the time of this recording. So again, the New York Stock Exchange, one of the terms and conditions of being publicly traded on that stock exchange is you have to maintain a share price of over $1 per share. And you usually get slapped on the wrist 2 times. You have to give them a plan of action how you're going to do it. You're going to do a reverse stock split. I know Tuesday, that was back when Pure One Imports was publicly traded. That was how they were able to actually stay on the stock exchange a little bit longer. They've fallen over under $1, but then they, the reverse stock split? But they got to $12 per share, and they just decreased the number of shares that are out there. And again, there's very little that Fisker is actually doing. They have all the manufacturing, was it by Magna. So that's the actual company that actually assembles them and builds them in their own factory. And Fisker Ocean, they have that, which I feel bad when my friends actually bought one of those. That's a electric SUV, which there's a fair amount of competition, and it'll be interesting to see what's the long-term support of this in terms of consumer support and spare parts, software updates, or lack thereof, how that's going to work out. And I guess shouldn't be too surprised, because again, there's also not much. They have their own research design team, but they're not making the machine themselves. I wonder, is anyone going to swoop in and buy the remaining assets? What type of intellectual property is there from that perspective? And again, I'm not too surprised. Unfortunately, this is the second time the company's gone bankrupt. Perhaps they're just eternally cursed when they gave Justin Bieber a vehicle and he wrapped it in a chrome wrap, which that was the Fisker Karma, which looked like an amazing sports car, some might say, was just kind of an anemic EV. Especially at that time back then, they were even more slower than now and more comical. Now they're faster than a rocket. But nevertheless, they unfortunately made the wrong business moves, and being delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, it's it's going to happen any minute now. But at the end of the day, I can't help but suspect. They're probably going to be bought out by another traditional automotive company. They'll buy the remaining assets, whatever they might be. But unfortunately, at 3 cents per share, all the bad news, that's the issue with Fisker. They are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.